In the city of shadows, where neon signs bleed onto wet asphalt, another kind of darkness festers. It's not in the back alleys or the dimly lit bars. It's in the penthouses, the boardrooms, the places so high up they're bathed in perpetual, sterile light. This is a story about monsters, not the kind that hide under your bed, but the kind that own the building it's in. They wear bespoke suits, not chains. Their lairs are corner offices, not castles. And their currency isn't fear, it's something far more common and far more corrupting: money, an obscene amount of it. We've all heard the whispers, seen the headlines: the CEO who treats his employees like disposable parts, the heiress who sees the world as her personal playground, consequences be damned, the tech mogul who plays God with data, convinced of his own infallibility. We watch them smile on screens, untouchable, invincible, while the rest of us quietly bleed. But the real horror isn't there. Arrogance, it's how normal it has become. We call them greedy, ruthless, out of touch. But what if it's something deeper? What if extreme wealth is a pathogen, a psychological virus that rewires the human brain, eroding the very things that make us human? This isn't a fairy tale. It's a post-mortem on the soul. Let's start with the basics. The human brain is a social organ. For millennia, our survival depended on cooperation, empathy, and community. We evolved to read faces, to feel another's pain, to understand that our well-being is tied to the groups. But what happens when you remove the need for that group? What happens when money becomes an impenetrable shield, insulating you from the everyday realities of life? Studies have shown a disturbing trend. As a person's wealth increases, their feelings of compassion and empathy tend to decrease. It's a phenomenon some psychologists call acquired sociopathy. The rich literally start to see other people differently, not as fellow human beings, but as objects, tools, or obstacles. An employee isn't a person with a family and bills to pay. They're a line item on a spreadsheet, a resource to be optimized or discarded. A customer isn't someone seeking a service. They're a data point, a target for extraction. Think about it. When was the last time a billionaire stood in line at the grocery store, worried about the price of milk? When did they have to deal with a rude bureaucrat, a delayed train, or a medical bill they couldn't afford? Their world is frictionless, sanitized. Every problem, every inconvenience, can be bought away. This creates a profound psychological disconnect. The shared struggles that bind the rest of us together become abstract concepts, distant and unreal. The world flattens into a series of transactions. Empathy, which is built on shared experience, withers from lack of use. This isn't just about being out of touch. It's about a fundamental shift in perception. Social psychologist Paul Piff conducted a fascinating experiment. He brought pairs of people into his lab to play a rigged game of Monopoly. A coin flip decided which player would be the rich player. They got twice the money, collected twice the salary when passing go, and rolled 2 dice instead of 1. It was a joke, a blatant, unfair advantage. At first, the rich players felt awkward. They knew it was unfair. But as the game went on, something changed. They started moving their pieces louder, slamming them down on the board. They displayed dominant behaviors, celebrated their success more openly, and even ate more pretzels from a bowl set aside for both players. After the game, when asked why they had won, they didn't talk about the rigged rules. They talked about their strategy, their decisions, their inherent skill. In just 15 minutes, in a completely artificial environment, they had convinced themselves that they deserved their victory. They had earned it. Now, imagine that game isn't just for 15 minutes. Imagine it's your entire life. From the day you're born, you're told you're special. You go to the best schools, live in the best neighborhoods, and every door is opened for you. The system is rigged in your favor, but everyone around you, including yourself, starts to believe it's because you're just better. This is the birth of entitlement, the insidious belief that you deserve more because you are more. It's the philosophical justification for monstrous behavior. I built this company, so I can do what I want. It's my money, I earned it. The rigged game becomes their reality, and the losers are just, well, losers. This mindset is amplified by the echo chambers they inhabit. The ultra-rich socialize with other ultra-rich people. They're surrounded by advisors, lawyers, and assistants whose job is to say yes. Their social media feeds are curated algorithms of affirmation. Any dissenting voice, any criticism, is filtered out. They are sealed in a bubble of self-justification, where their own narratives are the only ones that matter. In this bubble, the idea that their wealth might be the result of luck, privilege, or systemic exploitation is not just offensive, it's incomprehensible. It's like telling the Monopoly winner the game was rigged. They won't believe you. They can't. This leads us down a darker path, the dehumanization of others. Once you believe you are inherently superior, it becomes easier to see others as inherently inferior. They are less intelligent, less hard-working, less deserving. This is a cognitive shortcut that allows the wealthy to live with staggering inequality. That homeless person on the street, they must have made bad choices. Those factory workers demanding better wages, they're just lazy and entitled. By framing poverty and struggle as a moral failing of the individual, the wealthy absolve themselves of any responsibility. It's not a systemic problem, it's a personal one. And if it's their fault, why should I care? This is where the real monstrosity begins. It's one thing to be disconnected. It's another to actively cause harm and feel nothing. When you see people as less than human, exploiting them becomes not just possible, but logical. It's just good business. Laying off 1,000 workers to boost a stock price, cutting corners on safety to increase profit margins, lobbying governments to dismantle social safety nets. These aren't seen as acts of cruelty. They are rational, strategic decisions made in a world devoid of human consequence. The suffering they cause is an externality, a footnote on a balance sheet. The monster doesn't believe it's a monster. It believes it's a winner. Power is the final ingredient in this toxic cocktail. Lord Acton's old saying, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely," has never been more relevant. Extreme wealth is a form of absolute power. It's the power to silence critics, to bend laws, to shape reality itself. When you can buy politicians, media outlets, and even scientific research, you become untouchable. There are no consequences. There is no accountability. This is the ultimate moral hazard. When you can get away with anything, the temptation to do anything becomes irresistible. The rules that govern the rest of society simply cease to apply. So we find ourselves back in the city of shadows, looking up at the glittering towers. The monsters are real. They are a product of a system that allows wealth to concentrate to such a degree that it warps the human mind. They are victims of their own privilege, trapped in golden cages of their own making, their empathy eroded, their humanity hollowed out. They are the winners of a rigged game, so convinced of their own genius that they can no longer see the people they're stepping on. The story doesn't have a happy ending. This isn't a case you can solve with a single clue or a dramatic confession in the final act. The corruption is systemic, woven into the very fabric of our world. It's a slow, creeping darkness that threatens to consume us all. And the scariest part, the monsters don't even know they're monsters. They're just playing the game, and they're winning. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the hidden corners of our world. Stay curious and stay vigilant.